Let's bring in Josh Ritter, also in Tucson. He is a criminal defense attorney and a Fox News contributor. Josh, it's a strange one. Let's start with that. All of a sudden, the sheriff's authorities are back there in force today, as they were yesterday. But it almost seems like, they are going over ground that should have been gone over days ago.
No, you're absolutely right. It's like we have a flurry of activity followed by silence and seemingly no new updates, and then another flurry of activity, but none of it seems to be leading towards any kind of end. And you're right, they are kind of going over the same territory again. Now, it sounds like they're retrieving new evidence, so that's hopeful that that might be moving the investigation forward. But given what we heard just in the last 24 hours or so, the idea that there was new contact from the potential kidnappers, that the Guthries did respond to that with their own message, and that Instagram post that we've all seen now, even the president's own comments gave this kind of an anticipation and an energy in the air, which seems to have fallen off now that we haven't heard anything and there doesn't seem to be any new developments coming from the investigation.
I would caution our viewers, and I need to caution myself, that if you remember back a couple of years ago, the Idaho college murders seemed to have no suspects, nothing, for a good month. And then all of a sudden, Brian Kohberger was arrested. There could be a lot going on behind the scenes here that we just don't know about.
No, you're absolutely right. And that is kind of the nature of investigations, especially with the FBI getting far more involved there. Notorious for being tight-lipped about where their progress is on a case, and there's a reason behind that. They don't want the criminals finding out what they're up to and what leads might be and how close they might be, just given news coverage. So you're absolutely right. It could be that any moment now we get a huge development, but it does seem that when you're trying to take the temperature of the current investigation, it may have reached yet another standstill.
Jeanine Pirro, now the U.S. Attorney for Washington, D.C., was on Fox and Friends this morning talking a little bit about the investigation. Let's listen.
We're still going back to where we started. They're going back to the roof. They're going back to the daughter's house. We don't know a lot. They're keeping a lot close to the vest. Who took her home? We don't know. Who was at dinner that night? Were there other people at dinner? Were there any kind of conversations that we may not know about? They know about it. We don't know about it. I really believe there's a backdoor communication going on here that we don't know about.
The they she's referring to are the investigators, the police, and the sheriff's office, obviously. It is possible that they know an awful lot that they're just not sharing.
Absolutely. And what's strange, too, is initially, you remember when this first happened, we're now a week into this, we received a lot of information from the Sheriff's Department with interviews and press releases. And then that all came to an end, and some of that information had to be walked back. And I think they've reevaluated how much information they're going to share and how willing they are to share specifics about that investigation. But one thing we've been consistently told is that they don't have a person of interest. They don't have a suspect. That's all that we're going off of. But while we're being told that, we also see that they continue to respond both to Nancy Guthrie's home and to the home of the sister, gathering information, taking photographs. It does seem like at least they're at work doing something.
Yeah, that's kind of the elephant in the room, though, that they went back to the sister's house last night, took more pictures, took pictures in the garage, apparently. Should we glean anything from that, Josh?
It's so difficult to say. A lot of it's just being thorough. I think you could also make educated guesses that perhaps they're zeroing in on something, and maybe something inside of that residence is something that they're more curious about. But as we're having this conversation, you can tell that we're doing just as much reading of tea leaves as we possibly can, because we're just not being provided so much information from investigators themselves.
Yeah. Well, they say that if there are developments, they will call a news conference, and as of this moment, no news conference has been called. So they're still working the case with nothing big to share, apparently. Joshua Ritter, criminal defense attorney, thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.